Welcome to Mental Models Daily, where we explore one mental model each day to help you elevate your daily decision-making. Today, we're diving into a fascinating field of study that has applications far beyond actual games: game theory. Game theory is the study of strategic decision-making in situations where the outcome depends not just on your own choices, but also on the choices of others. It's like chess, but applied to everything from economics and politics to biology and social interactions. The foundations of game theory were laid in the 1940s by mathematicians John von Neumann and Oscar Morgenstern, with significant contributions later made by John Nash, whose life was portrayed in the film A Beautiful Mind. However, the intuitive understanding of strategic thinking has been part of human nature for millennia. It's like we've always been playing games, but game theory gave us a formal language to describe and analyze these interactions. At its core, game theory deals with players, strategies, and payoffs. It helps us understand how rational decision-makers should act when their interests conflict or align with others. It's like having a mathematical toolkit for navigating the complex web of human interactions and competing interests. Let's consider a classic example: the prisoner's dilemma. Two suspects are arrested and interrogated separately. Each has the choice to betray the other or remain silent. If both remain silent, they each serve 1 year. If both betray, they each serve 2 years. But if one betrays and the other remains silent, the betrayer goes free, while the silent one serves 3 years. This scenario illustrates how individual rational choices can lead to suboptimal outcomes for all. It's like a mathematical parable about the tensions between individual and collective interests. In the business world, game theory is used to analyze competition, cooperation, and negotiation. Companies use it to set prices, decide on marketing strategies, or navigate mergers and acquisitions. It's like having a strategic advisor that can predict how your actions might influence and be influenced by the actions of others in the market. Game theory also appears in fields as diverse as evolutionary biology, where it helps explain cooperative behaviors in nature, and international relations, where it's used to analyze conflict and cooperation between nations. It's like a universal language for describing strategic interactions, whether between cells, individuals, companies, or countries. So how can we apply game theory in our daily lives? Firstly, it encourages us to think beyond our own perspective and consider the motivations and potential actions of others. In any situation involving multiple parties, we can ask ourselves, what are the possible strategies for each player and what are the potential outcomes? It's like developing a strategic empathy that helps us navigate complex social and professional situations. Secondly, game theory can help us understand the importance of credible commitments and reputation. Many games change dramatically when played repeatedly, as the fear of retaliation or the hope of future cooperation can alter strategies. This insight can be applied to building trust in relationships or establishing a strong professional reputation. It's like realizing that life is a series of interconnected games, not just isolated encounters. Lastly, game theory teaches us about the power of changing the game itself. Sometimes the best strategy isn't found within the existing rules, but by altering the structure of the interaction. This could mean changing incentives, improving communication, or aligning interests. It's like being not just a player, but also a game designer in the various arenas of life. In conclusion, game theory is a powerful framework for understanding strategic interactions and making better decisions in complex, multi-agent scenarios. By embracing this mental model, we can become more sophisticated strategists, more effective negotiators, and more insightful analysts of human behavior. In a world where our success often depends on navigating the choices and actions of others, the ability to think in game theoretic terms is more valuable than ever. Thank you for joining me today on Mental Models Daily. I hope this exploration of game theory has given you a new lens through which to view strategic interactions in your personal and professional life. Until next time, may your strategies be optimal and your games be positive sum. For more mental models, please visit mentalmodelsdaily.com or find us on X or Instagram. Our podcast music was provided by the podcasthost.com and Alitu, the podcast maker. Find your own free podcast music over at thepodcasthost.com/free music.